Hey, so with the Black Sports Moment of the Year, I'm going to go with easy one, LeBron James breaking the scoring title. Everyone, a couple years now, we've already seen this coming, so we can't be too much of a surprise. But LeBron James has been so phenomenal throughout his career. An argument could be made that he'll be remembered more for his accolades off the court, than on the court. LeBron James, first of all, no other athlete has ever founded a school, the I Promise School, so I feel like it deserves to be a shout out for that. And also his international presence. Luckily, I'm out of country, I'm from the Dominican Republic, and being able to see that, you can see his presence outside the country. Anytime I even talk about basketball, not NBA, but just basketball in general, the first thing that comes out of my uncle's mouth is LeBron James. That's the first thing that comes out of my mind. That's all they know down there. So and for his example that he set off the court, not a blemish on this man's record.
Literally, bro, no scandals, no cheating with nothing, bro. No,
He's
like no money, none of that.
And he stayed loyal. The worst thing you could say this man's done is the decision, and even that's not that bad. Yet a lot of people say that's the start of the super teams, but if that's the worst thing you could say this man's done in his life, I feel like he's been pretty good then, if that's the worst thing he's done.
No, and I can 100% agree with that. Yeah, no, like you said, nothing off the court. He's had no scandals, no problems with anything going on, and that's just a real role model that we have, in this team.
And he's never been scared to speak his mind too.
No, exactly. He's one with the people. He's one with the people. He's not afraid to show it. So Terry, I'm with you. Go ahead. Who are your Black athletes?
I couldn't wait to get to this point. This past Super Bowl, Super Bowl 57 with Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. I couldn't wait, and I don't remember being this excited over a Super Bowl in years, because to see people that look like me play the position that I used to play a couple years ago when I was at BCU, I'm sure you remember.
Oh, we know.
It was great, but I got to shine a light on Jalen Hurts. He came into the league. Nobody wanted him in Philadelphia. I didn't even think he'd make it. I knew he'd have a chance, but the way that team was set up, I didn't think they'll make it to the Super Bowl that fast, so I was extremely excited. And a quick story for you guys. I remember the spring 2016. I'm watching Alabama spring game like I always do every year, and I see a kid with blonde dreads sticking out of his helmet wearing the number 2. My dad's outside cutting grass or doing whatever. I run outside, I go, Dad, Alabama has a guy with dreadlocks running around in that stadium. Yeah. He looked at me like I was insane. Yeah. Because when I grew up, I'm used to seeing guys like Greg McElroy, A.J. McCarron, Jake Corker, those guys, which were all good, but they played on good teams. They weren't as mobile as Jalen. They weren't as athletic as Jalen. Thank you. And to see somebody like Jalen come in, I was shocked, because the first game they played USC, he wasn't the starter. Yeah. He was the third string. Yeah. They had a guy from Santiago, California, Blake Barnett. He came in. I guess he didn't pan out. They put Jalen in the last minute. They ended up blowing USC out. Jalen had 4 total touchdowns. Guess what? He had 4 total touchdowns in the NFL Super Bowl. Yeah. So Jalen Hurts, hats off to him, and Patrick Mahomes, he's been in the spotlight for a while. So we're not shocked by Patrick Mahomes. So I was extremely excited for that.
No, exactly. And like you said, it's so welcoming seeing people who look like you, people that you can look up to. It's hard whenever all you see in all your face with is people who no one who looks like you, and and so that puts a blemish on your mind. And my one of my moments of the year is going to be the John Morant dunk of the year. Cameron is in the studio crying, pissing up, throwing a fit right now. So is Isaiah, but I do not care. John Morant has been one of the best young athletes we have seen in the last decade, and it's not even close. Went from Rookie of the Year to All-Star, won Most Improved. Cameron hates that, but we're not even going to talk about that. But yeah, no, his dunk of the year, I have never seen an athletic showcase as exciting as this one. For him, he brought it all the way back to the moon. And as Andrew Montana would say, that's some crazy bite force. He has some insane bite force. And like I said, the accolades just keep stacking up. He was in the All-Star game last year. He has 2 All-Star appearances. And if I'm not mistaken, he's 23 years old, which is insane. So, how does it make you feel, to see these young athletes putting on for us? Like, these guys are our age. So how does that make you feel?
It's hard to believe that he's only 23. And like he said, I've seen this famous clip on YouTube where he doesn't really recognize him too much. Like, oh, who are you? He's like, Black Jesus. Like, from the way he's flying in the air like that, I'm like, okay, sir, you got that.
No, seriously, like, what? No, it's actually crazy. And Jalen Hurts is actually one of those crazy young athletes, and
yeah. And when I say look like me, I mean look like me. Gets the fade.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's very Southern. He's from the South. I'm from the South. He wears the gold hoop. I don't have my gold hoop in, but I have one. So
right?
It looks like me. Legitimately looks like me, and I appreciate him, and I appreciate his family for bringing him up that way.
No, of course, and that's actually Ray's athlete to look out for. So let's go ahead, Ray, get into it.
Disclaimer: I'm a Giants fan, so it hurts to talk about an Eagles player like this.
That's funny. It hurts
to talk about Hurts,
don't it?
I know all of my friends are gonna be making fun of me for this, but no, Jalen Hurts. Like, you gotta respect thy enemy. That Sun Tzu said, "Art of war, respect thy enemy." And Jalen Hurts has been that guy. He's a MVP caliber player this year, and an argument could be made that he could be the Super Bowl MVP on the losing team.
Yeah.
But he outplayed Patrick Mahomes, and that is not a hot take. But we will not get into it on this Black History Month show. We're here to be civil.
No, you're right. He did all up to the fourth quarter. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes throughout the entire game. So it just came down to it's a whole team game. He did everything he could to win that game.
But I'm sorry to interrupt, but you're right. He's not a system. That on the biggest stage where everybody's watching, the only NFL football game on that day, we saw that he could play the position quarterback. He wasn't just a guy in there that had talent around him. Every quarterback needs talent around him. But he went out there and he put those points up on the board. He fumbled that one play. He came back. He put the Eagles out to a 10-point lead.
Speaking about fumbling, it's about time he gets paid. I'm kind of hoping the Eagles fumble the bag on that one, because I don't want to see that man in my division anymore. So Eagles, please fumble the bag with him. Don't.
Well, he's about to be a very rich man.
He'll find it elsewhere, just like Lamar Jackson.
Right.
You know who else about to be a very rich man? Listen, this guy's about into the draft in 2 years.
Oh, man.
He's not here yet, but go ahead, tell him about your player, Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. This is another story. Me and my dad, we watch a lot of football, and I know we always talk about this, but it was the COVID season.
Yeah.
Mac Jones was the starting quarterback for the University of Alabama. They were playing Missouri. I told my dad, I said, hey, stay up and watch this mop-up duty. It was a blowout game. I go, hey, stay up and watch. I got this kid from California. And to my ignorance, I didn't know he was black. I knew he was light-skinned. Listen, I thought he was like, Hawaiian, Samoan, because they just had Tua.
Yeah,
so I said, Dad, they got this kid. He's a little short guy, but he's just like Tua. Turns out, I think he's better than Tua.
No, it's not crazy to say
I never
that.
forget. He came out there. He had 2 throws to Jalen Waddle. I said, this dude is about to be the future. Yeah. I talk about Jalen Hurts. I talk about Tua Tagovailoa, but Bryce Young is a generational talent.
No.
I mean, watching him, his Heisman season, but this past season where they didn't even make the playoff.
He was still amazing.
I think he put up Heisman numbers.
He did.
And Bama normally has a more stacked team than that, and Bryce Young was that Alabama team. He was putting guys in position. Offense coordinator Bill O'Brien said that he came in and he had cut-ups of his own. He was putting guys in position and telling what plays they should run. When have you seen that?
He was a sophomore last year,
under Nick Saban.
He was a sophomore last year, by the way.
So I'm really excited. I hope the Colts go and take him. I think Bryce Young needs to play in a dome and a controlled environment with a good running game and build something around him where he's not going to get hit 24/7. You got to make sure he gets that ball out within 3 seconds. So I'm really excited for Bryce Young.
No, exactly. And another player that we're also really excited for, who sadly was out to ACL injury this year, we got Breece Hall. Isaiah, I'm doing this for you, my boy. I know you love Breece Hall. I'm just going to read you the numbers. Breece Hall only played in 5 games. Sorry, not 4. 5 games this year, by the way. In 5 games, Breece Hall had 4 touchdowns, 463 yards, 80 attempts, an average of 5.8 yards per carry as a rookie. A second-year rookie, by the way.
The truth.
Exactly. So Breece Hall comes from Iowa State. He's one of the best young talents we have in the NFL. He ran all over the Dolphins. We know that. Phil over there crying right now, but it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Ran all over the Dolphins. Ran all over the Packers. 97 yards, 18 carries, 5.4 yards per carry, a touchdown. Longest carry of 17 yards against the Dolphins. Against the Green Bay Packers, 20 attempts, 116 yards. Average 5.8 yards a carry, 1 touchdown, 34 yards his longest rush. And then next week against the Broncos, his longest rush was 62 yards, and he averaged 18 yards a carry. Are you serious? Come on. Now, these are insane numbers.
To piggyback off of you, Breece Hall is a guy that he can be a game changer and he can be serviceable in different situations. But the thing is, with the New York Jets, they're not going to see his true talent until they get a guy in front of him, a quarterback, to really show what he can do. We already seen snippets of it. We need to see the whole album. See what I'm saying?
We got the leaks.
Yeah, we got the leaks. We need to see the whole thing.
Yeah, we need the album.
So Jets go and get you a quarterback. I don't care who. I wouldn't say Derek Carr, but
I think,
you know.
I think
Lamar Jackson is looking around for people.
We'll see.
It's probably gonna be A-Rod. Nathaniel Hackett just went there.
Most likely. I think Aaron Rodgers to the Jets is gonna happen more than the Vegas Raiders.
I think so too. So with that being said, that